I'm Gina.
And I'm Evo.
And tonight we are drinking our fucking new favorite from 2020, carrying it into 2021,
Yes.
a gnarled vine.
A gnarled vine.
And I would like to cheers. And this is our first live of 2021, so cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
That is really good. I enjoy that every time we drink. Every time we drink it, I'm like, that tastes really good. And some of the research that I've done on this wine, it actually has hints of licorice and chocolate in it. And now that I drink it, I feel like I can really taste it. You know, I'm not like a wine connoisseur by the least. I actually don't know shit about wine.
We gotta do that.
Other than the fact that it tastes good.
No, you know what? Now that you mention it, you can.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So I first want to start off by saying I hope everyone had a happy holidays and had a great New Year's. I know that us as a family, we really enjoyed our time together.
Yeah, we did.
And I hope everyone at home did the same. And tonight, we have a special guest with us. Our moderator this evening is our oldest son, Anthony, because he's a whiz behind all of this. Because we are trying a new platform tonight for our streaming, and I hope it works out well. And we get no faux pas or
So far,
no.
so good. It
So far,
pretty good.
so far, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so and Frank, welcome to the stream.
What's
and
up, Frank?
Edgar, welcome to the stream. Frank, so happy to see you. So
Yes.
glad you are back. And you were not banned because you criticized Eminem for Mateo. Anthony, I actually just need one favor. Can you just lap this cord over the screen because it's right in front of the chat for me? Can you know what I'm saying?
So Edgar's saying Happy New Year, Edgar. Jason, glad you can make it, brother. Good to see you. Hope you had a great New Year and a great holiday.
Where do you see Jason?
Jason is the Facebook with the squiggly lines because that's just Jason for you.
Oh, it's not squiggly lines. That's it's a line.
Yeah, it's another language, but it looks like squiggly lines.
And then one other thing for our special guest tonight, you want to let this door open so that these lunatics, because of course everybody that's live with us tonight, as soon as we go live, our cats are like, oh, these motherfuckers went live? It's on and popping. It's time. It's go time.
I think that's the first time I've seen Chloe chase Kylo like that.
Yeah, so what he's talking about is that we have a cat. She is 13 years old.
Yeah, she's an old fuddy duddy.
She just tried to bust our kitten's ass just now. She was like, I'm gonna show you who's boss. But yes, I just want to welcome everyone back. I'm so happy to be here. I actually, even though we took that just 1 week off, I really missed this, and I'm glad to be back. I don't know about you.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that Anthony is joining us tonight, because not that we didn't enjoy Mateo, because we all know that we love to hear the shit talking that Mateo loves to do. But Anthony's really helping us out tonight.
If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been able to put this together.
We'd have fucked this all up.
I actually like this a lot better.
Yeah, I'd have fucked this all up. So for tonight, we're just going to be talking about things that are trending and some things that we hope to see in 2021. So the first and foremost thing that we want to get into is Wonder Woman 1984. And this movie came out on Christmas. I was really excited to see it because they really pushed this movie back quite a bit of time until we were able to see it. And then it came out in selected theaters, because there are some theaters throughout the United States that are showing screenings, and there are then they partnered with HBO Max to do this release. So I was really excited to see this because I really enjoy Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think she plays her beautifully. I love Gal Gadot as an actress. I also really enjoy the fact that she is a woman in her mid-30s.
Right.
So she's nothing against younger women, but it's nice to see her portrayed as a woman more in her prime. So I really enjoyed seeing that. And I think that's all I have good to say about the movie.
What's funny? Okay, so Edgar's saying Wonder Woman 1984 was horrible.
Yes.
And starting off, I thought the movie was okay. I was
I will agree with you on that.
I was enjoying the movie.
I was actually really happy with the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, more or less, it just, it started off good. And I want to say somewhere in the middle of the movie somewhere, it just started to fall off a cliff.
The middle? I don't know if it was the middle. I think
right. You're right.
It was like a half an hour in.
For me, it was literally the first action scene.
It was literally like, I feel like after the first 20 minutes, it was just a downward decline to the point where we could not even finish it.
Yeah, no, we didn't. It was like, I think I was falling asleep towards the end.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a given. You're always falling asleep.
Hey, you could be.
Evil, actually, today, I was binge watching a show, and Evil fell asleep about 7 times, and then had the audacity to wake up and go, what happened? Why is she there?
Listen, it was a rough night last night. What can I say?
It really wasn't.
I'm sure there was a lot of us today that took a couple naps throughout the day.
Yeah, so I personally feel like, because the movie was 2 hours and 35 minutes long, we did not watch it for the complete 2 hours and 35 minutes, but I want to say that a good hour and 45 minutes of my life was a good 2 hours of my life was wasted watching that movie.
Never gonna get that back.
So some of the things that I just want to talk about in the movie that really kind of like made my skin crawl were the fact that the way that they made Wonder Woman seem so weak for the character that Chris Pine played. Like, Wonder Woman is supposed to be like the strongest woman on Earth next to Superman, and she's over here crying about her long lost love. Like, and fine, I feel like many superheroes, Superman had his woman, Batman had his loves, but I never feel like it made them feel conflicted as a superhero, and I feel like they did this to her in the movie.
They definitely took away some of her credibility when it was almost like she forgot all her priorities of who she was as a person.
Thank you.
Once her ex came into her life, which was crazy. I felt like the movie was like took a separate direction. Like, I felt like it like almost split into 2 stories at that point.
Yeah.
Where it was just like Wonder Woman, reliving this moment with her ex, and she was almost like she didn't even care about she being a superhero. And then you had the movie going on separately to that. It was a little weird.
I actually that was the part that really annoyed me about the first Wonder Woman, was the way that they portrayed her to be like when her superpower came out, like in all of its essence in the first Wonder Woman. It was like when she watched Chris Pine fly into the air and get blown up, and then she was like, no. And I feel like that's what they did in this movie, and I hate when women are portrayed like that, because I kind of feel like it diminished her overall power as a superhero and made her look like she wasn't as powerful as she was, and that kind of pisses me off, because I don't feel like they do that with male superheroes.
Yeah,
I feel like the woman there is a woman interest, but it doesn't hinder them from what their overall agenda is, and I feel like that's what it did for her. I just want to read some comments. So Frank says, Anthony, can you actually go up a little bit on the chat for me, please? So Frank says, I thought the movie was decent. It was sappy from time to time, but I really liked that it was written from a woman's perspective. Okay. Elsa says, hi, guys. Happy New Year. Thank you, Elsa. Thank you so much. Movies that feature DC characters are horribly written. Evo hit Gina with the who's the boss, ayo. Christina says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Christina. Thank you so much for joining us. And then Frank says, the movie could have done a better job of explaining that she missed her love without making her look weak. Okay.
You're absolutely right.
So Frank hit it right on the head for me. That's exactly my overall feeling. I feel like it just diminished her character for me as a superhero. And then Frank says, the movie was supposed to show the bonds that tie together people and how hate can destroy us from within. But it came across way too cheesy and made her look bad. I completely agree with that. And then Edgar says, one of my female cousins said the movie portrayed women like they were in the 80s. Oh shit. It was played in the 80s. I was born in the 80s, and my mother was actually one of those women that like went into the workforce. And I don't know what women his cousin are referring to, because I feel like in the 80s, a lot of women, unless I'm misconstruing what Edgar's saying, I feel like a lot of women in the 80s were all about going out and getting theirs.
Okay.
So I don't always feel like women were succumbing to the like, oh, my love, he's gone. And so that really fucking blew my shit. I'm just going to put that out there. So, and let's talk a little bit about Kristen Wiig as Barbara, aka the Cheetah Woman. Okay. I want to gather my thoughts on this.
All right, while you gather your thoughts.
Yeah, please do.
I actually like Kristen Wiig. With Kristen Wiig.
I do too.
I do too. I've really enjoyed her acting in a lot of the other movies that I've seen her in, and I even recently seen her with on Cars and Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
And even seeing her just in her everyday person, it was still a joy to see. So for what it was worth, I think she did great in the movie, but I think there was only so much you can do with the way the movie was written and the way it was, I believe it was directed, that it just, again, it fell off a cliff with everything else.
I enjoyed Kristen Wiig's character in the beginning when she was the woman that was being ignored by men because she wasn't as sexually appealing as men would want to see a woman, I guess, in that time. I'm not going to say that once she started to morph into the cheetah person, or she started to obtain the powers of similar to Wonder Woman, did I completely hate it? But bro, when she turned into that cat, I was like, what the fuck? And even moreover, who the fuck does the CGI for DC? Can somebody please tell me who does the CGI for them?
I want to see.
Because the CGI is so bad. It's just so bad that it is so blatantly obvious that it's CGI. Yeah. Like, granted, all of the superhero movies have a large aspect of CGI. We all know that. But when you watch a Marvel movie and there's CGI scenes, Thanos was like 90% CGI.
Yeah, for real.
Did you look at Thanos ever and go,
no,
God, this is the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life?
No. So what part of the movie did that for you? Like, what was it?
The Cheetah Girl.
It was the Cheetah Girl. See, I was at that point of the movie. I was fading out. So I don't even remember
was faded.
I was fading out at that time of the movie.
In addition to that, the scenes where they had her running. My friend made a joke about how she was running how they used to run in the old Smallville series. Like, it was just like him running, but like they just had the scene speeding up beside him. Bro, this is 2020. God. Well, the movie came out in 2020. This is 2021. And I just felt like the CGI really fell off for me.
Was it me, or were the lasso scenes and the swinging scenes horrible?
Oh, God.
Did you notice that?
Well, again, CGI. Like, the CGI was really horrific.
It looked like something like out of like a 64-bit video game, you know, where like like a character jumps across something and it's just like they just go like horizontally across the air. It was just like what the hell is going on? I felt like she was just on a zip line as she was, swinging, when there was no like swing to it.
So, Frank says it was supposed to take place in 1984. Being sexually harassed and overlooked was the norm. And hi, Donald. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much.
What's
he says
up,
that
Donald?
we both look fly.
Thank you, sir.
And then Edgar said, she said women were thought as weak, subservient until the 80s, and tried to bring an 80s feminist perspective. My cousin is hanging out with me now, by the way. Oh, nice to see you, cousin. Don't know your name, but thank you for joining us. And Frank says it would have taken such small changes to make this movie work. Again, I completely agree with that. I think that Gal Gadot is a great actress. I think she really portrays Wonder Woman well. Because I think, separate from when she becomes Wonder Woman and she's just Diana, right, I think her acting is phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think that the movie, like Frank says, I think a few tweaks could have really taken this. I just need for Wonder Woman to just cross universe and just become Marvel so that they could just do her fucking justice. But with that being said, actually, we have a photo for you that I want to share. I was on Twitter, of course, reading about Wonder Woman, and I came across this image here, and I want to show it to you. So, if anybody could tell me who the person is on the right side that they are making the comparison of Wonder Woman, I would love for you to tell me. I know who it is, who they're making this comparison of. And I honestly, it fucking took me all the way out when I saw this, because I was just like, I can't believe that they did this to her. Not only are they dragging her for the movie, they made this comparison here. So I'm just going to leave it up a little bit so that everybody, if you know who this person is that they're making this comparison to, I would love for you to chime in, because this really did it for me. Yes. So Stephanie got it. She said,
ding, 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 ding,
and
ding.
Donald says definitely Power Rangers. So it just really took me all the way out. Yes, so it's a Power Rangers monster. Yeah. But guys and ladies,
do you see at me? Do you think
is a comparison?
Do you feel like there may have been a little bit of biting going on? I don't know.
If they went to Power Rangers to pull out this costume,
there's a strong,
God fucking help people who produce DC. There's a strong
resemblance about what's going on right here, right now. I don't know.
And Stephanie, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much. And Edgar says that his cousin's name is Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.
Hey, Stephanie.
There was, I will say, one other aspect of the movie that I enjoyed was the way that Pedro Pascal portrayed the Maxwell Lord character.
Yeah.
I think he's a phenomenal actor. I will say this. I'm a little bit biased because he obviously is the fucking Mandalorian. So, like, he almost does no wrong in my eyes at this point. I'm just like, he's the Mandalorian. He could kind of just do whatever.
I mean, listen, he's hot in the streets right now. So, you know, anything you put him on right now, it's gonna go good. I personally enjoyed the women empowerment portion of the movie.
Yes, because do you remember that I actually got teary-eyed in the beginning of the movie because I was just like, look at this little girl kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying a lot of this new, you know, movement that's coming out with women and women empowerment and movies and stuff like that. It's just a refreshing way of displaying characters in movies. I mean, we just saw a clip today, which was from Avengers, right? That was from Avengers that we watched when Spider-Man gives what's her name?
Captain
Marvel the glove, Thanos' glove. And
yes.
He's like, you sure you can take this? And she's like, I think I got this. And all of a sudden, all the women just start coming out from the skies.
They're like, she has help.
She has help. And they're just like,
all the hairs on my body stood up. And it was like this small little clip. It was just a clip from the movie. But honestly, that movie came out 2 years ago and it still does it for me. Still does it for me. I cannot recollect one DC movie other than the Batman movies directed by Christopher Nolan and the two directed by Tim Burton that I will say that are vivid memories in my brain.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I will say this. The one memory I do have of Justice League with Wonder Woman, Batman, and Aquaman was their horrible CGI villain. That shit was atrocious. This is my whole point. Somebody needs to write an email, as per this trash ass movie, because this movie got a 5.6 on IMDb rating. 5.6. So I found that to be shocking for as much hype as there was behind it.
Yeah.
Because I saw the rating before we watched the movie. And then I was like, I think sometimes people be hyping it up. They be hyping it up. And then I watched and I was like, yo, they are not hyping it up. This movie is actually trash. Let me just read some comments. So, Lee Vargas says, they both look as if from ancient Sumerian gods, the Anuk. That makes 100% sense. And then Stephanie says, his name is Goldar from the Power Rangers Rita's sidekick. Yo, thank you for the facts.
Loving the fact checking.
And then Frank says his character of Mr. Lord was supposed to be an imitation of our current president. His haircut and his need for validation and power were a dead giveaway. Okay. I did not catch that comparison, but now that Frank kind of pointed out, I get it. And then Frank says, any Marvel movie would have given Wonder Woman a better story and a background. Guys, I said it. And then Batman vs Superman was actually a decent movie, but it was like Wonder Woman 84, poorly written. I didn't think that the whole movie was horrible, Batman and Superman. I didn't mind it. And I also will say that I didn't mind this guy so much as Batman, even though I hated him as Daredevil. And I'm not going to say his name because it's going to get people hyped. So there was one thing that I read on through Twitter and through the internet that I had to go back and see myself. And I want to say, other than the beginning of the movie, it was the one thing that I truly, truly, truly enjoyed about the movie. So spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the movie to the end of the credits, mid-credits, there's a scene where there's someone walking through a crowd and then all of a sudden something starts to fall and it looks like it's going to directly hit a person, and they do like a silhouette of a woman and you see her and she has long black hair and you believe it to be Diana, Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. And this person then pushes this thing that's falling from the sky out of the way and saves that person. And the person is like, oh my God, how did you do that? And when the person turns around, it's the original Wonder Woman from the TV show Linda Carter. And she's like, she says the line that Wonder Woman says in the movie, oh, it's just a shift of weight. It's very simple, once you do it.
Right.
Excuse me. And I was kind of like, I went back to go watch it and I got like a little bit of goosies. I got that from J-Lo, by the way. I got a little bit of goosies because I really enjoyed Linda Carter as Wonder Woman back when I was growing up.
Listen, that was a dope play. I mean, you definitely want to pay homage in a situation like that to the original character, if you can.
So they portrayed her to be Asteria, which is the person in the movie that makes the sacrifice in that gold uniform that is that Princess Diana wears in the movie. Right. And I believe that they have left that open for obviously another Wonder Woman because she has said to be lost. Like nobody knows what happened to her, and then all of a sudden here she is.
They're always leaving the door open, man. They gotta keep that. They gotta keep that money machine cranking.
But if they don't do better, it had a great opening. It had a great opening for a digital screening. Yeah. But they need to keep that door going. Yes, but if they don't do a better job, they're really gonna lose a lot of fans. Because I feel like people want to see these movies to get the excitement that they got maybe from watching it as a cartoon or reading it as a comic, and if it's disappointing to them, they're gonna uninvest their time and their money into these things.
You're right. I agree.
So, and then the last thing, there was a lot of conversation on social media about the debate between men and women over this movie, and I was reading that a lot of men were just immediately saying that they hated this movie. And they were saying that they hated this movie not because a lot of the factors that we just spoke about, just because it was a powerful woman in a lead. And then a lot of women were calling out men on social media and being like, oh, you don't like this movie because it's Wonder Woman. I want to know how you feel about that. And I want to know how everyone in the audience feels about that. What? I personally didn't like the movie. And honestly, it had really nothing to do with anything other than a lot of the things that I just said, which was the bad CGI, the way that they wrote the storyline about her love interest and like how she was as a superhero. I really felt like the villain, the cheetah thing, that shit was cheesy as hell. So I didn't like the movie because of that. But from a male's perspective, do you watch these type of movies and you see these women in these power roles, and do you say, if the movie's like not so great that you're already just like, oh, this is trash?
No, not at all. I mean, it takes a lot more for me to dislike a movie, just based on who's like the sexual lead in the movie. Mm-hmm. And again, I actually, like I said, I enjoyed the movie, but it was just the acting and the stunts and stuff like that, and the storyline that really kind of just fell short for me.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the actors in the movie, and I have a lot of respect for many of them in there. So for that, I gave it a chance. But I enjoy watching movies that empower women. I think it's needed. There was a lot of generations that where the women didn't get to play those roles, or didn't little girls didn't get to watch other women characters, be powerful on TV and aspire to be like them. I can't, how many years of Hollywood and movies where little girls had to like sit in the background while little boys got to like idolize superheroes and men in power on TV. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm good with it. It didn't bother me at all.
Okay. So Edgar says, idea for future Marvel, X-Men, Storm, Jean Grey, and Rogue. That would be fucking dope as shit. And then Frank says, ha ha ha, the thing about the actor Ben Affleck looks like Bruce Wayne, but he was doing a bad imitation of Christian Bale. I would agree with that. The women empowerment story angle is one of the few things that the writers did well. I will agree with that. I do feel like, especially the opening scene of Wonder Woman, I was just like, yo, this is so everything for me. And
Right.
I forget the actress's name who plays the other lead sergeant from the place, the Amazonian that she's from. What's the word that I was gonna say? She's Jenny from Forrest Gump. I love her. So I was honestly kind of just like, I love her as a character. Mm-hmm. So I was happy to see the way that they portrayed them, but it still just didn't do it for me, guys.
Yeah.
And then Frank says, it's important to know who... Oh, wait, that moved. It's important to know who directed this and Firefox this shit out. And then Frank says, that's a great idea. And then Elsa says, I think it is directed to a wrong audience and it should be done for kids. But again, this was my humble opinion. And then Stephanie says, we need women writers and directors. We would get a great movie. Well, the director of this movie was a woman.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She actually directed the first Wonder Woman and the second Wonder Woman. So we do have a female director. I don't know so much about the writers.
Somebody dropped the ball.
Yeah, somebody definitely dropped the ball. I, as a person who is in the movie and TV and film industry, I just wonder who the hell sits there and goes and edits that movie, or when they're filming and going, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
That floating, that looks good. Let's do that shit.
Somebody would, you know what? I don't want to stereotype it, but I think I have a good feeling of the type of person that probably approved those edits.
Okay, so that's all I have for Wonder Woman. I don't want to drag this chick anymore. I don't want to drag this movie anymore.
Next.
Let's move on to something that I thoroughly enjoyed at the end of 2020. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is the movie Soul.
Oh man, such a good movie.
And before we get into some of the stuff that is popping up on the internet about this movie, I love this movie for so many different reasons. And one of the things that I will say right off the back about this movie is that it was supposed to be released in June of 2020, and it got pushed back to December. And I don't know about you, but I feel like it being released in December felt a better fit to me for this type of movie.
I agree. I thought that it was a great way for Disney to end the year. I mean, after everything that we've dealt with, a movie like that's about, the purpose of life and living life to the fullest, and I think that we needed that, just to like, it was a good time for a movie like that to like I said, I think that
to understand your true purpose.
Well, the end of year should be about reflection. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, it's a good opportunity for you to be like, look back at your life and just wonder, question what your purpose is or what you're doing with your life. And I thought it was a great play. I mean, I don't know if it was accidental that they rolled it back or was intentional.
I mean, well, a lot of movies from Disney or just a lot of studios in general got pushed back, but I honestly just feel like it being released in December was more appropriate. I felt like it was a good time for families to sit down and watch something together that had such a beautiful storyline to it.
Yeah.
So it got an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb. And I actually think that's a great rating. I personally would have gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
There was nothing, and the only reason I will give it a 9 out of 10 is for a few points that I'll discuss later on. But overall for me, this was close to what I consider almost a perfect movie. It had those laughable moments, it had those teary moments, it had those just joyful moments. It had those like, oh, that was cute. Like, it just had a lot of those moments that I feel like is what you're supposed to get out of when you watch an animation, especially when you watch it with your family. So if everybody in the family can get something out of it, if your elderly parents are laughing at it, if your young children, your teenagers, your whatever it is, if somebody's getting something out of a movie like that, to me that speaks volumes about the movie overall. And I really think that Soul did this for me.
Definitely did it for me.
I will go out and say that Soul was my favorite movie of all of 2020.
Agreed.
And I was really hoping that it was going to be Tenet because I love Christopher Nolan, but that shit did not do it for me. I don't want to get into that conversation. But Soul really just did it for me. It hit all of those buttons. And I want to say, as far as animation, for me, my favorite animation movie of all time is Fantasia. But that's for a different reason. My second favorite is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm going to say that Soul right now takes number 3 for me. And that says a lot. Because there's been a lot of Disney Pixar movies that I could have put in that place.
Some tough contenders, Gina. Yeah, you really put him up against some tough movies. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna agree with you on that. And I just, for me, it just everything about this movie ending in 2020, it was like perfectly played.
Yeah,
you know what
agreed.
I mean? And so for that, best movie of 2020 for me.
So I'm gonna read some comments. So Edgar says another movie idea, The Incredible She-Hulk. My daughter would love that because she loves She-Hulk.
That would be dope.
And then Edgar says that he hasn't seen it yet, so good. I don't think we're gonna spoil anything for you tonight. We're just gonna talk about how much, like, you know, some of the points that we heard about this movie. And Stephanie says we just need to get Disney Plus. I'm missing out on so much.
It's worth it.
So I'm gonna say this: if you yourself can't get Disney Plus, please reach out to one of your family members or friends that are willing to share their sign-on with you.
Yeah.
Because then you can just watch it in your home, and I wouldn't, honestly, my sister just gave me her sign-on so that we could watch HBO, so I could watch Wonder Woman. So I thank her for that. And I think that we could share things across platforms.
I'm not sure if Disney allows you to have multiple profiles. Because in like Netflix, you can have multiple profiles. You can have multiple users. And in an HBO Max, you can have the multiple users. But I'm not sure if you can do that with Disney Plus. Either way, I mean.
All right, well, give it a shot.
Definitely give it a shot.
Because I mean, if you don't want to pay for it, and I get it, because I think we're playing for like probably 3 services right now. And then Edgar says, I hear it's the jazz version of Coco.
Yeah. You know what? That's an interesting way of putting it.
I would somewhat agree with that. And then Frank says, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm so excited to watch it. Pixar can do no wrong. I agree. And then Pixar represented race, color, mental health, ethnicity, and culture perfectly. And then Elsa says, yes, I agree. It is great for the whole family.
It was. It definitely was.
So just a few points that I have about it. I think Jamie Foxx, voiced as Joe Gardner, was fucking spot on.
Yeah.
And not only was it spot on for the character of Joe Gardner when he's in his human form, even when he becomes
the cat.
He becomes, yes. Well, he goes from human to soul to cat.
Yeah.
Each of the characters that he plays them so well.
Right. Well, remember, you don't give too many spoilers.
Yeah. I'm just saying he plays them so well.
He did.
And he voices them so well, and I think that that's hard to transfer the same voice to different characters in the same movie, and it still fits so well. And Tina Fey as 22, I honestly didn't even know that it was Tina Fey.
You just took the words
right
out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Again, for the second time. I was just about to say that. I was blown away by the fact that we watched the whole movie, and I had no idea that was Tina Fey. And I like Tina Fey.
Yes, and so do I. Oh, and by the way, Edgar says you can have multiple users on Disney Plus.
There you go.
So there you go, Stephanie. Please reach out to somebody that loves you and ask them if they have Disney, and so that they could give it to you. Because I don't see why they wouldn't. Because I would give my password to anybody. I really don't care if you are my family and my friend. So, I did not know that it was Tina Fey. And then when I did some research into the movie, I was pleasantly surprised because I loved her character.
Yeah, she did a great job in the movie.
She did a fucking... And I don't know if her and Jamie Foxx have ever worked together. And again, from me being in the industry, sometimes when you record audio, you're not in the same studio.
Right.
They actually will have you come in on different days and record the audio separate. But there are times that they will have you record together so that you get kind of like that chemistry with your character.
Sure.
And you can almost feel like you're talking to that person in actuality. I wonder if they did that with them, because I honestly just felt like, even though it's an animation, I just felt like their on-screen chemistry was so fucking cute.
It was really good. I mean, all around, great movie. Not to give away too much, because some people haven't seen it.
Yes.
Definitely watch it.
And by the way, before I forget, George says, new set, you guys are able to post a picture. Shit, you guys are professional now. We're trying.
We inching up there.
We in these streets, we trying,
yeah.
George. We appreciate you noticing that. We are definitely trying. And then Sonia says, Happy New Year to you, Sonia. Thank you so much for joining the stream. And then Stephanie says, LOL, they're waiting for me. Yes, I believe that they will be. So let's get into some of the controversy that is behind this movie Soul, that I was actually kind of surprised to see.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what I was reading until I watched it. So what's going around on the internet is that there are many people that are saying that this movie has an aspect of racial insensitivity. And what they are meaning by that is that two of the main lead black characters in Disney movies, which was Tiana from Princess and the Frog and now Joe Gardner from Soul, they were their main characters and then they were turned into an animal. So they weren't their black lead throughout the entire movie. And people in the black community are feeling like, why does their role as a black character have to be minimized? So you and I were talking about this a little bit, and I would agree that I don't feel, other than Miles Morales and Black Panther, which are Marvel, black characters in the Disney umbrella be portrayed as a lead in like a Pixar or just like a Disney animation, it be that person solely throughout the entire movie. Unless I'm wrong, other than Miles Morales and Black Panther. So that is why I somewhat agree with this. I wouldn't say that it was insensitive. I just feel like maybe it was a lack of understanding what they were doing. Like, do I make sense when I say that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think that Disney's had an opportunity to really put out, a significant amount of movies to call something like this a pattern. I, for one, am the type of person that something has to happen multiple times in order for me to call it a pattern. So this is the second movie that Disney's put out with minority lead characters that's been turned into animals, and now all of a sudden it's a thing. I think it's too early. I think it's too early to call bullshit.
Okay.
And you got to give it some time. And I mean, like, they just started putting out these movies, and yes, it kind of it's starting to look like it could be a pattern.
Okay.
All right, but I think they're blowing the whistle way too early on this one.
Okay. I will say that I would like to see a movie with a person of color, preferably black.
I agree.
Be portrayed throughout an entire Disney in the next 2 years.
Agreed.
Okay. One other factor in the movie that I thought that I loved is that Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, who is now a composer, was part of the composing of this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's dope.
Yeah, Trent Reznor, this is actually not the first time he's done scores for movies. I love Nine Inch Nails. I love Trent Reznor. And I was really happy to see that he was involved in this movie. And because there wasn't only one composer that was involved in this movie, but I just kind of love like the overall like the decision making of who they put in this movie, and like how like the people that they use to make it, because I think Trent Reznor is not like your run of the mill. When you think Disney, do you think Trent Reznor?
No, definitely
exactly.
Not.
So especially thinking about his past, like you don't think Disney, you don't think him, right?
I'm wondering like how did that happen?
So I was really like, that put a smile on my face when I read that, because I really like him, and I like him as a composer. He actually composed another movie, The Social Network, that was completely his.
You know what that kind of feels like? It kind of feels like Alice Cooper in Wayne's World, right?
I fucking love that.
When Alice Cooper, obviously he's just this, insane rock god, and then like backstage he's just like this intellectual person that is so connected with like.
And he starts talking about how it's pronounced Milwaukee, not
and
Milwaukee because it's Native American.
And it's a great display of how people, you can't judge them by what what you see at face value, and obviously Trent Reznor he embodies that, because I would have never thought that he would have been.
I completely agree with that statement. And then it says, so Frank says, companies know we are sharing login information. Having more than one person on an account is going to happen.
Hey, listen, it gives them streams.
You know what? I never thought of that.
It gives them streams. You got to take a loss in the front to gain the load in the back. And that didn't sound right. But I hope you know what I meant.
As you said that, I was like, what the fuck did you just say? I hope nobody caught that shit, because that shit did not even sound right.
On a business aspect, you have to have a lost item, something that you take a loss on to bring revenue and numbers in and bring more business in.
Oh, okay. So just my last thing that I want to touch on really quick about Soul, I highly recommend the movie. I think that everyone should watch it. It really does not matter your age.
No, it doesn't.
Young, old, senior, like just watch it. It's honestly a phenomenal movie. But the one thing that right now that a lot of people are putting out into the world is that Disney is marketing Soul toy-wise as plushies. Now, I actually can show you exactly what it is that people are having a gripe with. The marketing of these plushies is of Joe Gardner and 22 in their soul form. And that is part of the argument, that it's not Joe Gardner in his character as Joe Gardner as the music teacher.
But I think you're failing to realize that the movie is called Soul. It's about the soul of of who you are as a person. It's about souls. So the fact that they're marketing the souls, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, it wasn't like the movie was about a teacher, and it was called something jazz, and then he died in the movie, and these were his souls, and then this is what they're marketing.
I would disagree with you on that. I would say that the movie was about Joe Gardner discovering what it means to have a soul and understanding his true purpose in life. Right. So the story was about Joe Gardner. It wasn't about his soul.
But in the same aspect, you have to think a bit on a business perspective, on a marketing perspective, right? What's gonna sell? What's gonna make dollars at the end of the day? These cute little, soul characters.
I'm gonna tell you this: a bitch is gonna go buy that cat.
Yep.
Okay, I want that cat tomorrow.
I already know this. And
22, and plus that's my son's birthday date. My son's birthday date. Yeah. I want that cat.
I mean, this is genius on the marketing department. I mean, they're gonna make so much money on this, and at the end of the day, it's about the bottom dollar. So I don't know. I just you can't. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to see it that way, only because I'm a businessman. So when I see these things, I see business moves that at the end of the day are gonna satisfy shareholders, are going to increase profit margins, are going to create bigger budgets for the next movie, and it's a numbers game.
So Edgar says, interesting, in Aladdin, a man of color was portrayed as a thief and a hustler, and no one said a word. That's interesting.
It is interesting.
I will say that when Aladdin came out, I really couldn't say anything because I was very young. So I didn't really see movies that way. Yeah, I didn't understand the dynamic of being a person of color and like what that meant.
Yeah.
And then George says, ha ha ha, nice knowing you, Evo. And I'm assuming that was in reference to the statement that you made earlier.
My little slip up. I got you, George.
So listen, I think these plushies are fucking adorable, but I think Disney also needs to market Joe Gardner as Joe Gardner. That's just my opinion.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
Okay. So, dollar is king.
So if maybe they did a study on it. Maybe they ran some tests. Maybe they ran some numbers. Maybe they did. They ran some figures and cost basis over what they could potentially make on the back end. It didn't add up.
Okay.
You know, you have to do all this research, you know, prior to putting a product out to know that everything that you invest in the front is going to pay off.
So Gina says she hasn't watched it yet, but she also wants the cat. This is fucking Disney at its finest. Disney at its finest. People don't even watch the movie. They want that cat.
That cat's gonna be.
All the crazy cat ladies are gonna be like, meow.
Yep.
Give me that shit.
If you love the movie and you love cats, there's your toy right there. That's a 2-for-1.
It's a twofer.
It's a twofer.
Okay. So that's all I have for the movie. So we started off with what we hated. We talked about what we love, and let's talk about what we are excited to see.
I am super excited about this.
Okay, so what we were talking about is Coming to America 2. I don't know if you have seen the trailer for this movie, but I would hope that everybody has seen the original Coming to America.
For real.
And the minute I think about this movie, I just think about Eddie Murphy going, jump on one leg and bark like a dog. And she's like, arf, arf.
You know, funny, me and my boy Jason, I don't know if he's still on here, he was on here earlier. When we used to work together, we used to always like, there was the part where the barbers in the barbershop where the one guy would be like, the old man, he'd be like, aha.
Oh, that was Eddie Murphy.
I know it was Eddie Murphy, but the character, he was like, aha. And so like every time we had these aha moments, we would go to each other and be like, aha. And that was our thing. So, you know, that movie is just full of that stuff.
So some of the things that I thought was really fucking amazing about this, the entire original cast is coming back. So Eddie Murphy will be as Akeem. Yeah. Arsenio Hall will be Semi. James Earl Jones will be the King of Zamunda. They will even still have Eddie Murphy's, I guess you could call him the man butler. Do you remember that guy? I forget his name off the top of my head. He's coming back. The woman who played Eddie, who eventually at the end of Coming to America becomes Eddie's wife, she comes back and her father is still there. Like every single person that was in the original Coming to America, that there was their main role, Mr. McDowell, his daughter, the McDowell. You remember he was in McDonald's, but he was McDowell. They're all coming back.
Yeah. I think you need that for like a movie that has been gone this long, that they're gonna remake a part 2 of, you know.
I'm just pretty excited because this is like black excellence at its finest.
Yes, it is.
I just want to know if Eddie Murphy is going to do Sexual Chocolate. If he's gonna be like Sexual Chocolate and throw the fucking mic on his Jerry curl. I mean, it wouldn't be appropriate though now because Jerry curl was big back then, but still, I wonder what that guy looks like now.
And so that's what I'm interested to see in this movie about how a lot of the things that were prevalent in the movie back then, how they're not now, and how they're going to bring prevalence,
how they're going to bring it to the times.
That's what I'm excited to see. I'm hoping that they don't fall short on it, because I think that is going to be a very huge part of whether the movie really hooks into the new generation or it doesn't. So
Stephanie also says that she's very excited about that, and they're all playing their original characters. And then Eddie Murphy's playing all those characters in the barbershop still. Man. So I don't think it's going to be too far in the future, because those guys were pretty old back then.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's probably going to take place 15 to 20 years post the original Coming to America.
Okay.
And then Gina's saying, I hope that they don't overdo it. That was what you and me were talking about. We were saying that because we loved Coming to America so much, and it was such a big thing in our time, that we were afraid that we hope that they don't overdo it, because a lot of movies that are remade, like fucking Bill and Ted.
Oh, why did you have to bring that up?
Yes, I did, because I needed a reference of when they take things way too far.
What a train wreck what that movie was.
And it just fucks up the whole movie.
So disappointing.
Please God, I don't want that to happen with this, because I think that movie is like one of those movies from the 80s that, like, when you think about movies that came out in that time, Coming America comes to your mind. It's one of those standout movies.
You know what,
there were so many characters in it.
There's too much excellence in that movie for that movie to take that type of role. You know, I can see how Bill and Ted may have happened to them, you know, only because it's just, you know, it's just them. And there's not a lot of, like, you know, well-known characters in the movie. There's so many well-known characters in this movie, so many comedians, so much talent that I just, if that...
I'm excited to see Arsenio Hall, because when was the last time you saw him in something? And I loved him as Simi.
Honestly, I don't remember.
So I'll give you a little background to what the story is about. So what happens is that Eddie Murphy's character, Akeem, finds out that he has a long-lost son in the United States. And his father, the king of Zamunda, says to him that he needs to go back to the United States and prep this kid to be the proper heir to the throne, because now Eddie Murphy is going to be king, and then this son could be the prince. So that's why he's going back to America.
Okay.
Some of the other things that I'm really excited about is that they're introducing some new characters. My man Wesley Snipes is coming back. Is not coming back. He's going to be in the movie. Again, I love Wesley Snipes. He is near and dear to my heart. He will fucking ever be Blade for me. But he's coming back, and he's going to be playing a ruler of a neighboring town to Zamunda. So I would love to see how he's going to play this. And in the movie, one of his right-hand people is going to be Tiana Taylor. And I just recently found out that Rick Ross is going to be in this movie.
What?
And he's going to be playing one of Eddie Murphy's bodyguards.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I cannot wait to see how this chicken wing eating mother effer is going to be a bodyguard in somebody's movie. Who is he chasing? Who is Rick Ross chasing?
He's probably,
and you know what? I may get a knock at my door after this. But who is Rick Ross chasing in the movie?
I don't. He's probably gonna play some type of. I mean, I guarantee most of these rappers that really don't have any acting, they typically play themselves, or they play some type of version of themselves, something of what they do, you know. And I can see that that's, you know, probably what he's gonna be playing.
But I will say, there have been some actors recently that have thoroughly surprised me. When we saw T.I. in Ant-Man, I loved him in Ant-Man. I was like, yo, this is definitely like not what I expected from T.I. as an actor. He was really doing it for me. So I don't want to talk shit. I don't want to talk too much shit on Rick Ross, but I'm kind of excited to see what he's gonna do. And in addition to that, Leslie Jones is gonna be in it, and I really like Leslie Jones. She's going to be playing the mother of the long lost son.
Okay.
So that makes me think. I hope everyone remembers that scene in Coming to America when Arsenio Hall, Semi, and Akeem they're in that club and they're meeting women. And then the one girl was like, "Don't make me chase after you." And she took her leg off, and then there was the girl with the cigarette lighter. Yes. Which girl was she that Eddie Murphy obviously went home with and had a baby with? So I would love to see how they kind of like tie that story in. I'm excited to see that.
You want to read some?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so what was the last thing that we read?
Stephanie says that they're all playing their original characters.
Yes.
And
Gina says,
Gina says that they play that character in the preview, which is the one that you were talking about in the barbershop, and then starting off with Edgar.
Edgar says that Godzilla vs. Kong, that movie was one I want to see. Okay. Eddie also says that I can see Wesley Snipes on that.
That's
right.
No, Edgar says Godzilla vs. Kong, that's the movie I want to see. So he's saying like a throwback? Okay.
That's what I said. And Eddie says Wesley, I can see Wesley Snipes on that poster. Could this be the start of his comeback? I hope so. Well, he was also in another Eddie Murphy movie that Eddie Murphy just did recently.
Anthony, can you look up for me what was the name of the other Dolomite? Did he do no, not Dolomite. Is it Dolomite? Yeah. Can you look up the other recent Eddie Murphy movie that Wesley Snipes was in? I watched him in that as well. But I do feel like Wesley Snipes is inching towards a comeback.
I would like to see him. I mean, listen, I loved him in New Jack City. Loved, that was one of my favorite roles that he played.
Who the fuck didn't like him in New Jack City?
Yo, he killed that role in New Jack City. And then, then of course there's White Man Can't Jump, which was a great movie.
A fucking cult classic.
It's pretty. It's so pretty. I mean, and and there's the legendary Blade of, where I think that was like one of like his best career moves. But, yeah, of course, I would love to see him come back and start, giving us some great roles again. Mr. Jones says,
King Joffy Joff.
King Joffy Joff. When is it coming out? He says, and then Rick Ross is gonna be out there selling lemon pepper wings. I believe that. This is why I say, like, a lot of these rappers and stuff.
That's
like
what I said. I said, what is his chicken wing ass gonna be doing in that movie?
I wouldn't be surprised if they got him like showing up as a delivery boy, like delivering wings on some comedy shit. That would be funny as hell to see Rick Ross roll up in a hoopty delivering wings.
Yeah, it's Dolomite. So Dolomite is my name. Wesley Snipes was also in that movie with Eddie Murphy. And Mr. Jones. The movie is set to come out March 5th.
Okay.
So I guess we'll have to see where we're going to see it, because will we be seeing it in theaters or will we be seeing it on a streaming app? I don't know. I personally don't give a shit. I'm going to watch it.
I'm definitely going to watch it, without a doubt. And Edgar says, doesn't he get married in the end of the first movie? Talk about a plot twist.
So he's still married. And so I read a little bit about the movie. He's married and has a daughter. So that's why I'm wondering how they're going to tie in this son. Was it somebody that that Prince Akeem got hooked up with prior to getting with his wife in New York? Because, you know, he was there for a little bit. He was a single man before he got wrapped up with his wife.
Is James Earl Jones still alive?
I mean, yes, he's reprising his role.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
Nah, they're going to dig him out his grave, Evo, and they're going to just prop his ass up.
CGI is crazy right now. They could do it.
Oh, well, you know what? That is a fucking 100% true.
They could do it.
Because I don't want to give any spoiler alerts because people haven't seen things. But if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, boy, do they bring somebody back.
Let me tell you, they killed it with that one.
Yes, listen.
Killed it with that one.
I cried.
Yo.
I cried and I cried thoroughly.
That CGI was amazing. Amazing.
And then Edgar says Godzilla vs. Kong was supposed to come out in 2020, but that has been pushed back to this year. And then Mr. Jones says Projector Outdoors. I'm with that.
Let's do it.
So that's actually all I have for Coming to America 2. I know that you and I are really excited to see that. And I'm really just excited to see this all-star cast.
Yeah.
Because I personally feel like it is 100% true essence of Black excellence. And I fucking love Eddie Murphy. Honestly, Eddie Murphy did a lot for me in my youth, and he put out a lot of movies that when I was younger that I almost kind of felt like I was breaking the rules watching them. But then as I got older, there were movies that he put out that I could watch with my family. Like Dr. Dolittle, that shit does it for me. But let's move on to something totally different from movies.
Okay.
That has come up in the recent times. And that's the fucking stimulus. We're going to talk about it.
We're going to shift gears just a little bit.
We're going to shift gears real quick.
We're going to shift it up into fifth gear. We're going to turn this up a bit. Let's talk some
Because look, we talked
economics.
about what we hated. We talked about what we love. We talked about what we're excited about. And we're talking about, now we're going to talk about the shit that is blowing our mind at this point. I'm going to let you start this one off for us, Evo. Because you follow this way more than I do. And I'll be honest, the only things that I got to say are just complete blasphemy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just blown away right now with what's going on with the stimulus package and the way that the way it's being presented. And of course, all the shadiness that's going in behind it with, you know, trying to package in things with it to pass it. And I'm really blown away right now how, like, they passed the $600, and look, already Edgar saying, is it enough? Hell no. No, it's definitely not enough. I agree with Edgar. I mean, they gave so many breaks to so many corporations in the first bill that nobody was saying nothing about. You know, where was Mitch McConnell then? You know, where was all this, you know, we can't put too much money in the hands of certain people because, you know, that's the wrong thing to do. No, they were getting millions upon millions of dollars in tax breaks, and there was nothing wrong with that. But now, you know, the Democrats, they want to put an extra $1,400 on top of the $600 that they sent, you know, in the pockets of American people. And, you know, you got Mitch McConnell, the leopard, the lizard, whatever the hell we call them,
He's fucking rotting.
Yo, this man is dying from the inside, and I honestly feel that he doesn't care about anything in life because his life is over.
Okay, I just want you to know that a Stephanie on here, she said his human form is decomposing.
Yeah.
His vessel is fucking rotting.
I don't know if you
and
guys
this
can see
creature
this.
right now is what is blocking us from getting our $1,400 fucking dollars.
Can you guys see what's going on with his hand right there? I mean, that's not normal. I honestly feel, yep, there you go. That's perfect. I think this guy, he's on his last leg and he's like, fuck everybody.
You mean on his last hand?
Yeah,
Fuck his last leg? Could you imagine what his legs look like?
If his hand looks like that, I can only imagine what the hell his leg looks like. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
His legs are lizard legs. He covers those with his pants.
This guy sold his soul to the devil.
Yes, he did.
He definitely did.
100% sold his soul to the devil.
He's got freaking schmegma running through his veins right there. It's just retarded. And
this is what is blocking the American people from getting an extra $1,400.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that like he will not allow the bill to go to the Senate to vote.
And I just want to add that he is the senior senator of Kentucky that has almost a 20% poverty rate.
Yeah.
A large portion of their citizens are in poverty, and he is their senator.
Yep.
Okay, this man is 78 years old. Okay. He's basically halfway in his coffin. He's about 4.5 feet down right now. And this is what's stopping people from getting money. And then on top of that, I just want to say, isn't it our money anyway? Isn't it the tax money that the citizens have already given?
Pretty much, yeah.
I've been paying taxes since I was 14 years old. Since I had my first summer youth job, these motherfuckers took my money. Okay? And they don't want to give me $1,400?
Nope.
Okay.
You know, the sad part is that and
he said he looks like Lord Voldemort. You should not speak it. You should not speak his name. Avada Kedavra. Somebody give him the death spell, please.
Listen, somebody
Fucking
throw this
off
guy a
his ass.
lifeline
Oh wait,
or
let me shut the
something,
hell
bro.
up because we'll get canceled
This guy,
again.
he needs some milk. Help this man out. I mean, shit.
This animal, this reptile man, yo, I cannot get over him.
Maybe he won't pass the bill because he can't use his hand. I don't know.
He can't sign
He
shit.
can't sign shit. You know what I'm saying? This is a front. He's fronting. Something needs to happen, bro. Somebody help this man sign this fucking bill. I mean, they don't got no problem approving $780 billion on the defense bill that they just passed, right?
Yep.
No, that's no problem. And listen, granted. I mean, let's not stop the buck short for our men and women in uniform, okay?
For real.
I am not trying to say that they don't deserve the money. I'm not trying to say that the money shouldn't have went there, but you know, it's a lot of money. And I think that, you know, one of our biggest expenses in the United States is military spending. So it's not like there's not enough money that goes there. And I'm not saying to start pulling money away from there, but right now, as military needs funding, so do American people, because we are in the worst. We're in the worst time ever since the Great Depression. So if there's a time ever in life to do something like this, it is now. Now is the time.
It's my money and I want it now.
And I want it now. And
I don't want it in installments. I want it in one fucking lump sum.
For real. And then so here's the other crazy part, right? So the Democrats are saying that we need to be proactive on this, right? Because Fauci is saying that there's a second wave coming.
Oh God.
He's saying there's a second wave coming, that the worst is yet to come.
At this point, I feel like it's the fifth wave, because I feel like I've been hearing about a second wave coming since fucking August.
Well, he's saying something's coming. They're already talking about a new strain has been detected in, where was it, Colorado?
Yes, the stronger strain from the UK.
Yeah, so there's a new strain that's already detected in Colorado. Europe's already seen that new strain. They've been dealing with it. It's been running rampant over there already as it is.
Oh my God, bro,
and so,
I can't.
And so because of that, because of what's going on, the Democrats are saying, let's get this money out now ahead of time. Let's not wait until, things are, busting out the seams like they did the first round, and, we're rushing to get people money. I mean, right now we're coming at the end of the moratorium, where you have people that are that whole people can't get evicted thing. that's going out the window.
Oh yeah,
You know,
and on top of us going into a second wave, we're also going to go into a fucking housing crisis.
The landlords are going to be able to start pushing forward evictions and getting people out of these apartments. And these people need something, especially if they haven't been working. I'm talking about the restaurant workers. I'm talking about travel. I'm talking about
the entertainment workers.
Hello.
You know
what I'm saying? I'm talking,
not that type of entertainment, but you know.
But all of these people, they need help. So at least get out in front of it, so that when the moratorium ends and they start trying to push these evictions and stuff like that, or even if the economy takes a little bit of a downturn again and people and jobs start becoming less available, people start getting laid off again, there is some type of money out there to help these people.
Yeah.
But the fact is that McConnell knows that if he doesn't package other things in with it, then he's going to lose out on an opportunity. So they're trying to package in this. They want to check it. They want to do an investigation on voter fraud, because they're still claiming. Well, this is actually Trump's thing. Trump wants this in there, right?
Okay, I mean, listen, there is voter fraud. There always is voter fraud.
Yeah, but listen, there was voter
fraud.
Trump wasn't saying nothing about voter fraud when he got elected.
Of course, but that's my point. There always is some form of voter fraud. But is it on the scale that Trump is claiming? I'm sorry, I don't know shit about shit. But no, I don't think that it's in the hundreds of millions. Do I think here and there that somebody mailed in some Aunt Dead Mammy's ballot? Yes, the fuck they did. And did they vote for Joe Biden? Yes, the fuck they did. But guess what? It wasn't enough to make it where Joe Biden won by millions and millions and millions of votes over Trump. No, I'm sorry.
Sadly, if there's anything going on where someone has the opportunity to gain great power,
and great responsibility.
There's going to be fraud. There's going to be fraud. People are going to be looking a way to cheat and get out in front, in an unfair way to gain that position of power. And it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of it. So the Democrats, what they want to do is they're saying, listen, we'll vote on all of these things that what you guys want to put in this bill, but let's do it separately. Let's separate the needs of the American people, get this money out to them. Let's vote on this separately, and then bring all the other issues to vote, because that's their jobs. Their job is to vote.
Listen, their job is to fucking support the people. They are elected to support the citizens of the United States, and they're not doing that right now. I'm sorry. I get fired up because this fucking lizard person, he's going home and he's ripping off his skin, and he's asking, and he's going, what can we do to keep fucking with these people?
He's like, the precious.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's just fucking like, and this is the epitome of like, why people can't trust politicians. Because listen, I'm tired of hearing about how other countries are getting money from their government with no problem. Canadians were getting up to $2,000 a week up until they got income.
Yeah.
Like, I just find it ridiculous. And listen, let's be honest here. Money is not even real, okay?
Not really,
you can touch money, but in reality, the way that money is transferred and moved throughout the world, it is it's come to the point where it's just this like electronic push of a button, and the Federal Reserve just keeps fucking printing it. So then what real value is in it? Just print it and fucking give it to people and stop being a bitch about it.
How about they don't send all the money that they sent overseas in this last package that was passed? I mean, they approved $10 million to Pakistan for gender research roles, for gender role research.
What?
$10 million. Are you kidding me? Listen, it's pretty cut and dry. And I think that we have enough research in history that we can just reflect on that'll give us the answers that the $10 million that they just gave for whatever reason, I don't know why you need another $10 million for gender role research when there's so much data supporting what it is already.
I just want to read some comments really quick. So right before though, I believe, Anthony, can you just go up just a little bit? Oh yeah, so Mr. Jones says, them hands gonna make me lose my appetite, so Anthony took it down to save him. That poor man, it's about to be his birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday, my dude Shaz.
Happy birthday, brother.
Fellow Capricorn in the house. And then he said, thank you, because I can eat now. And then Vanessa says, $600 is a smack in the face to those who truly need it. Probably won't even cover rent or mortgage for people who need to catch up. Shaking my head. They should have been sending out food stamps to people as well on top of that. You fucking said this. You said that. And then Edgar says, bottom line, Trump and the Trump-likens are trying to do as much damage as possible before Biden takes office. And then Vanessa says, the only time I have agreed with Trump is to increase the stimulus. And Anthony was like, exactly.
Well, that's funny. That's because that's what Bernie Sanders was saying, and that's a lot of what the Democrats were saying. They were like, we don't agree on Trump with anything, but we sure as hell agree with him on this.
Yes. And then Vanessa says, AOC for president 2024. Vanessa, AOC is not ready for the prime time yet.
Definitely not.
I would say I don't disagree with AOC eventually running for president. There are some other people that I would like to see there before, and you know who that is. And I'm not going to speak my political views on here, but there are two people that I would love to see as president and vice president in the near future. But I think eventually I would love to see AOC run for president because I feel like we're hopefully reaching a point in the next couple generations where we're going to see some really strong diversity in the presidential candidates. I hope.
Do you see potentially Kamala Harris running now that she is VP?
Yes.
She's going to have some good experience in the White House, and she might take the opportunity to. What is going on right now?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, she might take the opportunity. I think that
without a doubt. I believe. I believe 100% Kamala Harris will run for president.
I could see that happening. I could definitely see that in the cards. You know what's funny, right? I was telling you earlier today. I saw somebody made a post about the new 2021 hustle, where they're going to take their stimulus check.
Oh shit!
You're going to take your stimulus check and you are going to make a raffle online. You take 50 entries at $20 a piece to raffle off your $600 stimulus check, which will then give you $1,000.
And right now, the person that put that information out, he was like, "Yo, why you leaking my hustle, bro?"
But he put it out online. It was online. I saw.
Yeah, because he was probably trying to gloat about what he was doing.
You put it out online. You put it out for the people.
Listen, that's the ultimate hustle. I remember. Hold on a second.
You almost slipped there.
I remember back in the day when we used to hustle food stamps.
Yes.
When you would sell them for cash.
That's right.
You would sell 100 pack of food stamps for $75.
At a discount, and you would get your cash.
Yeah, and then, do whatever you want with it. But I was getting $100, like, I'm not gonna front. Did I, at one point in my life, buy food stamps off of somebody for $25 off? Mm-hmm. Yes, the fuck I did. So, that's how it be sometimes in the streets. But we actually only have about 15 minutes left on the stream. That brings us to our top 5 for tonight. Because fuck that lizard guy. We're going to move on. And we're going to be talking about some things that we would love to see in 2021 and not this bullshit.
We're gonna dub Mitch McConnell, bitch McConnell. Right? Sign the goddamn bill. Let's go.
Right? Swap out that M for B.
Right?
You mother trucker.
All right. So, coming in this week at our top 5 is top 5 things that we want to see in 2021.
And I heard something recently that people were saying they can't believe that it sounds like this, 2021. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the year 2021?
Yeah, because it's 2020, but now it's 2020.
21. So like the year 2020 was a success. Like right. 2021, yeah, it would have fucking beaten our asses is what it did.
So starting off the top.
Okay, so, wait, I just want to read. So, Edgar says Notre Dame moment. Biden won't run in 2012. Kamala will win. Notre Dame. Okay, I believe that Joe Biden will not run. Joe Biden is also close to death.
He keeps calling her President-elect Kamala Harris.
Yeah, because she's gonna run and she's gonna fucking win. And not only is she gonna be the first female, she's gonna be the first person of color. Bitch, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. I'm going to ride that train hard to know that my daughter one day, I pray to the gods, that my daughter one day will see a woman as president and a woman of color.
Yeah,
bitch.
that would be dope.
A bitch is ready.
That would be dope.
And then Mr. Joe says, they still hustling food stamps. What the fuck?
Yeah, now they got the cards.
Okay, wow. And then Gina said, yes, we did.
Sure did.
All right, I apologize. Let's go into our top five for the night.
Move on, you didn't update this, please. Only 4 here.
No, the last one was the 2K.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So
here we go. Top 5 things we want to see in 2020. Coming in at number 5 is people being able to express themselves freely.
Nope. Number 5 was what we just said.
Really?
Yes, that's why I didn't write it in.
I thought that was going to be number 1.
Oh, okay. Well then.
Let's make that one number 1. I like that number 1.
If you want to make that as number 1,
I like that as number 1.
Guys, we are on live debating what number 5 should be versus number 1. Okay, so make number. You can make.
I'm gonna make that number 1.
Okay, fine.
All right.
I'm with
so
that.
coming in at number 5 is people expressing themselves freely, realizing we survived the pandemic.
Yes.
Definitely want to see more of that in 2021.
Yes, I think that people should just, if you want to go out in the street and run butt ass naked, do that shit.
I mean, I won't be doing that, but I definitely want to see people express themselves freely.
But my point is that if you survived a pandemic, if you got COVID, if you didn't get COVID, if you know family, like, at the end of the day, it's not over yet. But I think the part of it that was really shocking to us as people, we're past that point. I don't think people are really shocked anymore when it comes to COVID. But to know that you got through that, I know that there were a lot of times of despair and there were a lot of times of hope. And I would just hope that in 2021, someone would say, you know what? Yo, I made it through the dirt. I'm ready to do this shit. Yeah. So whatever that is for you or for anybody, I would just love to see people relish in that.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen a lot of people you've seen the numbers all over the place of people that have been affected by it. And I am looking forward to seeing a COVID-resistant society and what that's going to look like.
What do you mean by COVID resistant? Oh, like their morale, like COVID resistant?
Yeah, I mean just COVID resistant. You know, they're resistant to the virus. You know, it's whatever's happened with the vaccine or anything like that. It's been able to fight off the virus, and people are able to function as a normal society more so. It's just the whole society as a whole is more resistant to COVID, whereas right now it's like we're kind of like weak to it.
I agree, and that is why I want to see in 21. I want to see people live more freely. I want people to realize that they spent a lot of times indoors, and I want people to go out and do what makes them happy. Yeah. And please don't let things stop you, because I would just hope that people understood that you could do with so much less for so much more. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And so, with that, moving on to number 4, is the return of live music. Festivals, live music concerts, festivals, movies, going to the theaters, public events, things like that.
Yeah, just like as a whole.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to like that, returning to that in 2020. If it happens, if it doesn't, who knows?
Really, we don't make it past 9:30. We going to what live music festival we going to?
I'm saying, if there was a concert that we really wanted to go to, we would make it. You know we would. Why are you making us look like fuddy-duddies, man? What's wrong with you? I'm down. I'm like, give me a good concert to go to. I would love to take, like, let's just say me and you and Ava, because she really loves it. I would love for all of us to go to like a Billie Eilish concert one time.
Fuck, I'm so with that.
Oh, see, now, damn, you turn time real quick.
I would be Billie Eilish hard with my daughter.
You're a whole nother person.
I would put black makeup on her and everything.
That girl I was just talking to like 5 seconds ago. Where'd you go?
That's different. We're talking about Ava and Billie Eilish.
Like Mateo right now. It's different.
Okay, it's different. It's real different. And I honestly think all of our kids would love to do that.
Yes, so this is what I'm talking about.
Could you imagine that all of our kids in all of their age ranges that they are? Anthony in his 20s, Mateo in his early teens.
Yeah.
Well, not his early teens, his late teens, and Ava. And you and me, because, I mean, you like Billie. I love Billie. Because I put Ava onto Billie. And I just feel like we would all be vibing out. I would get Ava some goth-ass looking clothes. Oh, my God, bro. That would be so amazing.
These are the things that I hope that we can start to experience again in 2021. I mean, who knows? We may not. According to Fauci, we got a second wave coming. I don't know. Things are looking kind of crazy right now.
And Gina said Broadway.
Broadway, yes, of course.
You know what's so crazy about that is that her and I, and Stephanie says we made it on the other side. Like, and then Gina says fighting it and not running from it.
Exactly.
So Broadway, yes, I didn't even think about Broadway because this time last year, Gina and I, we went to go see a couple movies together and we went to Broadway together. And it was such an amazing time that I shared with a friend that this year that wasn't possible. Yeah. So any type of event like live music, Broadway, movies, I miss the movie theater. I miss bringing in my legal flask and drinking whatever the hell I want to drink in there because you know I ain't buying none of that shit.
Man, they get you. They get you.
Just so y'all know,
crazy ass drinks.
I love going to the movies. I don't buy popcorn there. I don't buy drinks. I bring popcorn from home. We stop at 7-Eleven and I get a cherry Coke and I bring a flask with me.
There's no shame. No shame.
I have no shame.
Hell no. I'm not paying $9 for a bag of popcorn.
Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I'm gonna do what I want because I'm already paying $13 to see this movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how the movie how it turned into like you know a night at the movies with your family is like $100-something.
Oh, Mr. Jones says I'm learning how to play the guitar, so you know I could play something in the window.
There you go. Yo, Shaz always got something going on over there, but that's my guy.
Yo, that's fucking dope as shit. Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that. I would love to see something live again. And now that you said Billie Eilish,
see what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna say something.
Billie Eilish, a J. Cole concert.
You should not speak his name.
You see how I'm hitting strings now, right?
You should not speak his name.
Yeah.
That just gives me. Please remind me, Anthony, at the end of this live about Billie Eilish, and I will share with you my idea. But let's go on to number 3.
All right, so coming in at number 3, another thing that I am so looking forward to. I don't know if it's going to happen or how it's going to play out, but I really wish that it will because I really enjoyed was going to the movies and seeing new releases. And I'm really excited. Even if we don't make it to the movies, I'm really excited about the new releases that are coming out right now this year.
Yeah, like anything that's going to launch on digital.
Yeah, anything that's going to launch on digital. I'm really excited
streaming,
about
rather.
On streaming, and particularly Disney. I'm really excited to see if they have any new movies with minorities as lead characters.
If I'm not mistaken, though, wasn't that one of our top 5?
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. So what number is this?
This is number 3.
Number 3. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
So number 3. So in particular, so Disney has like a boatload of stuff coming out.
Yes.
But I'm really interested and excited to see what they have coming out that has minorities as lead characters. They have one that's coming out that is called Raya and the Last Dragon.
Bitch, I'm ready because we saw the trailer for that
shit. Yeah, we saw the trailer
shit.
for that. So if you guys haven't seen it, check out the trailer for Raya and the Last Dragon. It's really good. I think you'll enjoy it. And
it kind of gives me like a Mulan slash Moana vibe, like together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love both of those movies. Mulan, I would say, is probably one of my favorite Disney animations. Like I said before, Fantasia is like my ultimate.
Yeah.
But that I have very strong ties to that for a different reason. But I love Mulan. I have a Mulan doll that was gifted to me. Actually, it was gifted to my daughter, and I said she couldn't have it.
I remember that. Yeah.
Our beautiful next door neighbor, Miss Wendy, who I love very dearly, gifted my daughter a Mulan doll. That she was like, can the baby have this? I said, sure she can. And then I brought it inside and I said, Ava, you can't have this. This is mine. I'm sorry.
Not right now.
Yes, I would love to see movies in this coming year with people of color, especially because this last movie that Disney had, Soul, in 2020, there's a little bit of controversy behind it. I would love to see a person of color, a minority rather, in addition to that. And potentially even maybe a woman be a lead role and be that throughout the movie and not turn into an animal.
I'm excited for all. I mean, I love Disney and the stuff that they come out with, so I highly doubt that I'll be disappointed. So definitely looking forward to that. Coming in at number 2 is something simple, something that we take for granted.
Yeah.
And I think now more so than ever, we've really taken this for granted.
I agree.
And that's just plain and simple hugs.
Oh, I'm not a hugger. But I have become a hugger.
You know, this.
Okay, so I wasn't a hugger.
Yeah. I see. I was. I definitely was.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And this elbow thing that's going on right now, where people are like, "What's up with the elbow?" Like, I'm just not feeling that. Like, I want to go back to like the what's up? You know, like, bring it in, like,
Yo, tuck it in.
Tuck it in. Make it feel good.
Tuck it in. Just keep tucking it. Tuck it tighter.
Even with family too, it's like it's tough.
I will say I'm 100% okay with the elbow thing, especially for people that I potentially am not that favorable of.
I mean, I guess for some people this is probably working out. For Howie Mandel, I'm sure he probably loves this shit.
It's really working out for me because my introvertness that has been in dormant for a good portion of my life, it blossomed in 2020. It was like, I have always been here.
Yeah.
You just did not recognize me because you thought you must talk and interact all the time. Do you not see the peace in just sitting? And I'm just like, this is fantastic.
I know germaphobes.
I actually can't stand the entire...
I can only imagine that germaphobes all over the place are probably just like, yes, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, that nobody can touch each other.
I don't want a handshake. I don't want to hug.
I miss that.
I do want to hug. I want to hug the people that I love. I miss hugging my friends. The fact that...
That's what I'm saying. People that you're close to.
The fact that I have to ask.
Yes.
I went to a Christmas party at the beginning of December, and there were two friends that I hadn't seen almost the entire pandemic because one of them just had a baby. And when we saw each other, we all had agreed that we were going to be there. We all got tested. But she literally said to me, she goes, "Are you hugging?" And I was like, yes, I am. And like, I was so happy to embrace her because I hadn't embraced her the entire year. But to know that I had to ask, it was kind of, it was sad. Yeah. But I will say this, when it comes to the work world, and when you meet new people, that I'm just me meeting you for the first time, I'm okay with not shaking your hand. You know what? I'm okay with giving you an elbow.
Think about it. I mean, imagine what it's like in Europe, where Europe, when you say hello, it's with kissing. It's men and women.
Oh yeah.
Cheek to cheek. I think that may have been a big catalyst in the way that it spread in Europe to begin with.
Yeah. So Elsa says everything comes and goes. One day we're going to wake up and it's all over. Let's keep our faith up. And then Gina says, I still get J-hugs. Shh, that's a secret. That is a pure secret. You get J-hugs because, we got 30 years in the bucket.
So I would definitely love to see that come back in 2021, if possible. If not, there's always next year. And then
that brings us to our number one for the night for 2021.
Number one, heavy and strong. Number one thing I definitely want to see happen in 2021, without a doubt, is Mitch McConnell, give me my goddamn motherfucking $14,000, $2,000 stimulus check.
1,400, you mean?
1,400, 14,000. Listen, put an extra zero in there. I don't care. I'll take it. All right.
Yo, Evil said,
"It's my money.
It's my money,
and I want it now."
Okay.
For real. If there's anything that I want to see more so in 2021 is all of the Americans that are struggling right now get that extra money.
And fuck it, even if you're not struggling.
I mean, more so the people that are struggling. Listen, if you don't need it, you don't need it. I mean,
listen,
come on.
But what I'm saying is this. Maybe you don't need it at this exact moment, but would it be nice to maybe put that in your savings?
Hey. I mean,
because think about it.
Okay, so if you don't need it,
okay, wait, I just want you to think about this. At one time in my life, I was struggling, right? I'm not so much now, right? So maybe if I would have gotten that $2,000, back then, I would have had to use it immediately. But maybe now, if I was to get it, or a little earlier, because right now, financially, for me, my career is very like not guaranteed.
Right.
So it would be great to get that 2,000 as a whole and be able to put that away and to be able to preserve my future. And I think that it should just be given to all the Americans under a certain income level without any questions asked. Because
I think that's the
like
big,
Elsa
that's
said,
the big
nothing
argument.
is guaranteed. You could wake up tomorrow and it could all be fucked up.
But again, that's the argument. That's one of the arguments right now, is that they're proposing that it goes to every American when every American doesn't need it. Especially, you know, since there's been a bounce in the economy, a rebound in the economy. The economy's back up 30-something% from, you know, when it crashed back in March. Unemployment and jobs are up, you know, 50% from what it was from the original pandemic crash. So they're saying what they're saying, and there is an argument that there. I can see how it comes from both sides, that it may not be needed as much as that.
Okay,
and
fine.
so okay, fine. Listen, send cash to all the people that need it, who make under a certain amount of money a year, and the rest of the Americans, give them a tax credit or a tax break or something like that. They'll get it, just not right now. Right now, put cash in the people of the hands that need it. People that don't have it, people that are struggling, that are even debating on whether to pay their bill or do food shopping for the week.
I 100%
You know what I'm
agree
saying?
with that.
That's what I want to see.
actually like 1000% agree with that.
That's what I want to see.
Because I remember at one time being a single mom with 2 kids and living in a basement apartment, and if the pandemic would have hit then, I'd have been fucked.
To the person out there right now, you know, selling items out of their house, trying to make money, you know, to cover their bills, that person needs that money. That person, send them that money now. And
in a lump sum, goddammit.
In a lump sum, you know, stop fucking trickling it down the way that they're doing it right now. This shit is bullshit. And anyway, that wraps up.
Yes, that wraps up our first live of 2021 of Shit Talk Fridays, and I'm so happy of everybody that could join us tonight. I am really excited for us in 2021. We're actually going to round a year in April of Shit Talk Fridays, which kind of fucking blows my mind, because I decided to start this live because I said I just wanted to bring laughter and joy to people in a time of fucking pure despair. So if you are enjoying our live and you want to continue to see us, please like and subscribe and share with family and friends.
Absolutely, please.
Because we would love to be here every Friday night for you so that we can continue shit talking, because that is what we love to do. And y'all know I love to do that.
Before we go, let's finish up these comments.
And then Mr. Jones says, hell nah, we need that for like the shit they put us through, period. No damn paper towels and all the other shit running out. And then Gina says, either way, it's going back to the economy, so give it to us and we can spend it.
Yo,
fucking 100% agree.
One thing that did happen, and I can tell you this, brokerage accounts saw anywhere upwards from a 200 to a 400% increase in new accounts that happened over the course of the pandemic.
Listen, a lot of things happened through this pandemic. Just give me my fucking money.
And what that means is that trading
and the fact
firms,
that 17-year-olds don't get it, that shit pisses me off, because I'm about to throw Mateo out because of that.
The fact of the matter is that people were opening up investment accounts throughout the pandemic, and investment firms saw a 200 to 400% increase. Just shows you where the money actually went. So Gina, you're absolutely right. It's going back to the freaking economy anyway.
Yes.
So let's get it. Injection.
Yes. Give me my fucking money. And again, thank you for joining us on Shit Talk Fridays. Please like and subscribe. Share with your family and friends so that we can still be here for you every Friday night from 7:30 to 9. Until then, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace out.